and welcome to episode 158? 158 of The Joy of Coding. My name is Mike Conley. Welcome. It's November 21st, 2018. What do we got in store for you today? It is going to be a day of hacking on Firefox things. I have a bit of a beard. My winter beard has returned. If you go back and watch some of my previous episodes, around this time of year, I tend to grow a beard around this time of year. It helps keep my face warm. And it's also the time of year where I test out my hair follicles in my face and make sure they're still working. Anyway, let's see what we got going on today. Boop, 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 boop. So, a reminder, no plan survives breakfast. This is a completely unscripted, unplanned stream of me hacking on Firefox things. So I don't have pre-written solutions. I don't have, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just going to work on some bugs, and we'll see where we get. I might get stuck. I might get sidetracked. I might be wrong. That's okay. It happens all the time. That's what the stream's all about. Just capturing software development in the raw. No sugarcoating. That's the first thing. The second thing is that the agenda that we're looking at is something that you have access to. If you're watching this on YouTube, then it's in the video description. If you're watching this on Air Mozilla, it's in the handouts section. And if you're watching this on Twitch, then I better get my rear into the Twitch chat. Hold on a second. I forgot to join the Twitch chat, so I'm going to do that now. I've joined the Twitch chat, and I am dropping the agenda into the Twitch chat. Now it's done. There's also a link in here to rate the episode. Let me know what you thought of the episode after the episode's done. And all of the same places. You can find that link in the agenda and in all the same places I just mentioned. So, before we go into things, I also want to point out that there's an episode guide to The Joy of Coding. It's a completely viewer-driven episode guide. I'm pretty proud of this, not because I put a whole lot of work into it, but because of how awesome my viewers are. Viewers just like you have helped put this thing together. And we've got all the way up to episode 157, so last week. And each one of these is a pretty short and simple guide to the episode. So in many ways, it's almost like a copy of the agenda, but it also includes a link to the agenda, a link to the video, as well as links to some of the bugs I worked on, maybe links to notes, and maybe other things that viewers might find handy. And if that's the sort of thing, if maybe you wanna contribute, maybe you have your own notes or addenda or corrections that you'd like to contribute to the episode guide. This episode guide is for you, for viewers of The Joy of Coding. So whatever you think might be useful, go ahead and send me a pull request. And if you're not sure how to do that, there are links in the agenda on what a pull request is and how to send one, and a very straightforward contributing guide. I think it's straightforward, but like if you're new to Git, it might be a little confusing, and that's okay. But there's a contributing guide here, and there's a more verbose guide for creating pull requests that Smurf D, who is a prolific contributor to the Joy of Coding episode guide, he used and recommends. So there we go. Before we continue, I'd like to do a quick self-check, make sure everything's working. You can hear me, I'm recording, you can hear sounds. All right, we're good to go. So what do I want to work on today? Well, some of this stuff was queued up last week, and I never even cleared the agenda. We were working on this RDM thing, and I'm going to deprioritize that a little bit because I'm pretty sure that that is an issue that shouldn't be a problem past nightly, at least for the next little while. So last week we were looking at whenever you're if you're looking at a local file or actually no. Now that I think about it, it is going to move past nightly. So maybe we will look at that today. That's the thing we might look at today, but there are a couple other things I was hoping we could do as well. Where are my active bugs? So I have a patch for this that I'm actually ready to put up for review, so we can do that. Let's see here. I'll put a link to that in the agenda. Boop. And I'll link to the bug. Sorry, you're going to have to watch me do a little bit of agenda maintenance here. There we go. I don't really have any notes for it, so I won't link to the notes. So I want to do, maybe put that up for review, and then I was hoping we could look at this today, and maybe this as well. So this might be a whole hodgepodge, smorgasbord of things to look at today. A real smorgasbord. Borg. All of these have to do with some work I did recently to refactor how the tabs and title bar works. And these are all regressions that I caused. So hopefully we can figure out what's going on there. Let me just put this last one in here. And if we get through all of that, I'd like to then go on to this RDM thing. Whew, it is warm in here. One sec. Pull up this bug. Okay, so this is the order I'm going to try and go in. We're going to start by putting this patch up for review. So I'll do that first for the pin tabs thing, and then we're going to look at these two bugs. And if we get past that, then we'll look at the RDM thing from last week again. All right, let's get started. Oh, I can play a sound for that. Hold on, for the let's get started sound. My tablet OS appears to have crashed. So I had to restart it, and maybe now it will be ready to play sounds. Oh yeah, go get Wacky Morning DJ. Yeah. Okay, so now I can play some sounds. Hold on. So let's get started.
Here we go!
All right. So the first thing, I want to push a patch that I pushed it to try actually, and this fixes this bug where I can actually probably reproduce this bug for you right now. No, I can't. I can only reproduce on Windows and Linux. But if I had my Windows VM started up, I don't want to do that right now, but if I did, you'd note that if you have pinned tabs and you go into full screen mode, your pin tabs still appear in the corner, and that's because of some CSS changes that I did that didn't take pin tabs and full screen into account. And that's what this patch fixes, or will attempt to fix, and I want to put that up for review. So I'm going to pull that down by importing it from try. Oops, import. Maybe it just wants a link, a hard link. Copy link location. Yeah. Go get that change set. And then once I do that, I'm going to push it up to Fabricator for review. So it's applied. So now we have this patch up on top here. If I look at the log, I think I screwed things up because I resized the window while it was pulling up the log, and probably making it recalculate all its positions. So yeah, this is the patch I want to get reviewed by Dow. It's not a very complicated patch. It's all CSS, and it's basically putting in a bunch of conditions, just a couple of conditions to make sure that these rules that I had added don't apply when you're in full screen. So that's the name of the game. So I'm gonna, let me pump up the font so you can see what I'm writing. I'm gonna say mozfab submit tip, and that's going to do the work of submitting the patch to our Fabricator instance. Fabricator is the code review tool we're using now. We've switched off of MozReview. MozReview is no more. And instead, we are using Arc and Fabricator and this tool called mozfab to do submissions. Mozfab is a wrapper around Arc, I believe, and wait, automatically, yeah, that's what I wanted. Mozfab is a Python script that allows us to submit more than one change set at a time, because Arc for some reason doesn't do that by default. What the heck? All right, so now it's pushing and that's going up. And so we should get a link in a second. It should say that like here's your fabricator revision. Yep, there we go. So now we can go here and make sure that what I posted isn't totally nonsensical. Yep, in full screen. I didn't include things I didn't mean to. Yep, looks good. All right, so we'll wait for Dow to review that. Dow is the right reviewer for this thing. He's been graciously reviewing all of the things related to this series of patches. Okay, so now that that's done, I want to look at this next bug, which is, so here, posted a patch for review, and I will link to the patch if you care to see it. There you go. Redundant right-click items on the menu bar. Okay, now this is something that we might actually need to use either my Linux or Windows VMs in order to reproduce, but maybe not. There are basically unnecessary things inside the menu bar pop-up. Yeah, I think we're gonna need Windows or Mac OS. So let's see, which one's easier? Well, let's do Windows. Most of our users are on Windows. Let's pop up Windows. So I've got my Windows 7 box here, and I'm having that boot. So apparently there's some stuff in the context menu that shouldn't be there. So let's see if we can find the place where we decide what to put in the context menu. So while we're waiting for our OS to boot, let's ask SearchFox, where is this string? Here is the string, and where is it used? Here. In this menu item, toolbar context menu. And there's this on-view pop-up, on-view toolbars pop-up showing update, downloads, auto-hide, and toolbar context menu, update extensions. That sounds like it might be where we want to look. Just because the stuff that is showing up in this list, what were they? Manage extension, remove extension, auto hide, and toolbar. These are all extension related things. So let's see if we can figure out what's going on here. The OS is almost finished booting. We can probably understand what's happening though if we just look at the code. At least how it's supposed to work. Maybe we won't understand the bug though. So whenever the pop-up is starting to open, we get these we get some classes for remove extension and manage extension. And then we find a separator between that comes after remove extension, and then we ask to get the unwrapped trigger node from the pop-up, and then we check to see if the node exists and has an attribute, and then if it is a web extension, then these are all not hidden, otherwise they become hidden. That makes sense. And I don't know why it would be broken, but we can test that for now. We can test that right now. Woo! Come on, Windows 7. Don't show me this black screen of death. What's happening here? What's happening? VMware? What you doing? Oh, it was probably just coming to grips with my screen resolution. Well, I'm going to throw it for even further a loop. Actually, no, let's keep the classic theme. This looks nice. I don't actually mind the classic Windows Classic theme. I know it's a little dated, but I actually kind of like it. Let me bring up the bottom though. See what I'm up to. All right. So what the user is reporting is that if we open up the menu bar, and if I like right click near here, I get all these like redundant things. Like I get the manage extension, remove extension, auto hide, and toolbar items. I think that was the original bug report. Right click the tab bar, right click the menu bar. Before right clicking it, you just get that, and then after you get all of these things. So it's this area over here that I'm getting like these nonsensical things. And I think it's because there's a spacer here. There's like an element, a spacer element here. And so I think the spacer is what's throwing things off. But let's take a look. Let's open up our browser toolbox. So we're going to wait for the browser toolbox to open. My VM is not the fastest. Here we go. I think. There it is. Go get it. Go get it. Connection failure. Aw, come on. Come on, let's try that again. Connect. Yeah. All right. So the first thing I want to do is inspect the thing that's directly to the right of the menu bar. Oh, come on. Why you gotta be complaining? What's the problem? This is intolerable. Why do I have this? All right, well, let me try something. Let me open it one more time. I really don't want to have to deal with this right now. If this doesn't work, then we'll do it manually. We won't use the inspector. We'll do it manually. There we go. That's what I wanted. Now don't show me that silly error again. I just want to select this thing over here, whatever that is. Nope, not that. Sure, how about the help menu? That's fine. Right, so directly to the right, that's the spacer, and I think that's the thing that when you right click on it, that's the weird thing that's giving us our strange items. So why is that? Well, let's open up the debugger and set a breakpoint. Stab M's in live hacking says, "Oh, your YouTube stream is laggy." Is it? I'm not dropping any frames, so it must be the repeater. I'm using the Air Mozilla 2 repeater. Oh no. Let me just quickly check the live dashboard. Yeah, stream health not so good. I'm getting the orange line here. Maybe it would help if I close the live dashboard sitting in the background. Let's see what we can do about that. Failing that, you can also watch me on Twitch at this address, Twitch. And if that doesn't work, you can also try Air Mozilla, or try error Mozilla at https error.mozilla.org. There we go. Right, so I want to open up the debugger and I want to go to this function that was what? Update extension inside toolbar context menu. So browser.js. This is the one. I got a feeling that the Windows VM is really hosing my machine. Like I'm probably consuming a crap load of CPU. That's what the Windows VM is like. So maybe I should have chose the Linux one. Oh well. What was the name of the function? Toolbar context menu. Here we go. Then we're gonna set a breakpoint right here, and then I'm gonna shrink this window a little bit, and then I'm going to right click. Aha! Not actually firing. That's interesting. Why not? Well, that would explain why it's not firing, I think. Or that would explain why it's not. They're not getting hidden. It's because the event's not firing. Now, why not? Well, what normally calls it is the on custom. Oh, that's slightly different. That is slightly different. Toolbar context menu update extension. What else? We saw it elsewhere. Yeah, over here. Whenever the toolbar pop-up is showing, or in the toolbar context menu. So let's see if we enter on view toolbars pop-up showing. On view toolbars pop-up showing. So that one we do enter. So I wonder if we're hitting an exception and then we don't enter the second one. All right, let's walk through and see what happens. I'm going to pause on exceptions. That way, if we freak out, we'll know. Whew, pretty slow here. I don't know why you're so slow. But probably because my CPU is just getting wrecked. Getting the toolbar. Then we do all of these things. Let's fast forward to here. Okay, then what happens? Trigger node. And we're going to work our way up to the toolbar. So now we should have toolbar item is the spacer. Interesting. While toolbar item and toolbar parent node type is not equal to element node or a equals customization target. Why is toolbar item equals parent? Oh, I guess it's a toolbar item. Okay. Then show toolbars, tab browser tabs. No. I think we're gonna skip all this stuff. Show tab strip items. Toolbar context. Well, this is for all the context menu stuff. I think we can skip over. And then whether or not the widget is movable. Okay. Aha! And then we throw an exception here. That's why. That's why we're freaking out. Because the widget... What's the widget node name? Widget, a widget, node name. Spacer. And I don't think it likes the fact that it's a spacer that doesn't have an ID. Use spring spacer separator for special widgets without IDs. So maybe instead of it being a skip and toolbar set, maybe we also want, if not which ID and widget skip and toolbar set equals true, return false. So we could do that, or we could use a toolbar spacer instead of just a raw spacer. Let's take a look at what we do elsewhere. Don't do much else. Skip in toolbar set. That's what we do. I think we tend to say skip in toolbar set. All right, so that's probably what we should do here instead. So I'm going to try and set that up, and we're going to see whether or not that helps. So this is the spacer after the menu bar, right here. Save that. And title bar items. This should also be skip and title bar set equals true. Because I have a feeling that if you were to right click on like the private browsing icon, you'd get the same thing. Like if I open up a new private browsing window, come on, keep up. Oh, that's because I'm stuck here. I'm just gonna close the toolbox. If I open a new private window, oh, right, I don't have the private browsing window icon here, but if I have it here and I right click on that, oh, it shouldn't be title bar set, by the way. It should be skip and toolbar set. Let's see if this fixes it. So that didn't actually, the reason that I'm not seeing the issue with the private browsing icon is because it's slightly different whenever it's not being displayed in the menu bar case. And like there's a, I guess that's not a very good explanation. There's a patch that removes, like whenever you're showing the menu bar, we don't actually want to show the private browsing indicator or the accessibility indicator in the menu bar. You want to show it below the title bar control buttons. So maybe that's what I should have been context menuing on just now. At any rate, oh, this is pretty glitchy looking. What's going on there? Invalidation bug. Oh, you know what? As well, I wonder if it's not gonna like that I pulled recently and didn't do an artifact build. So let's see if it likes this. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Let me write down what I've found so far, and then I can put the this seems to be because we're throwing an exception inside of, what was that function? On view toolbars. View toolbars pop-up showing before we can get to toolbar context menu update extension, whose job it is to hide those context menu items. The exception is because of the spacer node I added, which doesn't have an ID and fails this check. So I'm just gonna find the right code. Let's also run our manual test here. Is widget removable? My solution is to give the spacer a skip in toolbar set attribute. Alternatively, we could also use a toolbar spacer. Now, what's the difference between a spacer and a toolbar spacer? Toolbar spacer. That is very much different. I think a toolbar spacer is just like a fixed width as opposed to a flexible thing. Although I suppose you could set flex on it and then it would grow. So it could do that too. But let's use the skip and toolbar set thing because I think I've seen that being used elsewhere. All right, so let's turn on the menu bar and then ta-da, the context menu looks right. Hooray. Now, if I shut that down, what was the patch in total? It wasn't very much. It was pretty simple.
You all?
I don't think so. That's right. What happened?
It's me, Mario. You all?
Just waiting for Mercurial to wake up. Now we can start thinking maybe about the second bug that was on that list, which was, it's a pretty nasty one. You can get into a pretty broken state with the toolbars. I'll demonstrate it once we get this patch posted. All right, skip in toolbar set, skip in toolbar set. Now, if I commit this bug, make sure spacer non-customizable items in the toolbar menu bar have skip in toolbar set to true. I should probably get rid of that redundant space there. He's not gonna like that. So let's do that, and then we can also like change the commit message to explain more. So we're gonna get rid of that redundant. Once this thing wakes up. Now, how do I go about explaining this other bug without, well, maybe there's a video. I think there might actually be a screencast. We can watch that together. And like that's a great way of reporting a bug, a visual bug, is if there's a screencast. And we can sort of see what is being done. Okay, so let's get rid of this extraneous space. And then I'm going to commit, amend. That way I can update the commit message a little bit. Oh no, I probably haven't told it that my editor is supposed to be Vim and not Sublime. No, it's going to open up Sublime. And Sublime's not a blocking text editor. Anyway, where's the screencast? Here it is. Let's watch it together. This is going to be hilarious. This is a great time. This is a great time. Okay, play. So the user creates a new profile. Boom, new profile created. They restore the window. And they've got two tabs here. And then what do? They maximize the window. Then they customize the window. Whoa. Oh, I skipped a step. They pressed F11 at one point to maximize. Yeah, that's the point. They didn't just maximize the window. They hit F11 in full screen mode. But they've got the URL bar focused, so that keeps the toolbar displayed. So they hit F11, and then they go into customize mode. And that takes focus away from the URL bar, and then we transition away. Then we restore out, and then the toolbar disappears. This is the broken state of the browser. We've got this just like missing toolbar, and it won't come back. So what's the story, and how to, oh, did I cause that? Did I do that? Also, what's going on here? There we go. Yeah, it opened up Sublime. I didn't need it to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say editor equals Vim hg commit amend. Now, how does this whole full screen thing work? So that's different from DOM full screen, but it all is centered in a single file called browser, full screen, and pointer lock. Right here. So how does it work? If the user hits, let's see, full screen, that's DOM full screen. What about like F11 full screen? I think there's like a full screen dot toggle. Should see how that works. Yeah, full screen init, handle event, toggle. Oh, we just say like full screen. Okay, so we fire some kind of full screen event. All right. And when we fire the full screen event, we go to toggle. Toggle's here. We change the state of the checkboxes and the commands for entering full screen. And then we set an attribute in full screen. one of the things we don't do is when we like change the size of the window, if we are in full screen and we resize the window, we should probably exit the full screen mode. That's one thing I've just noticed. Okay, so let me update the commit message here. This is necessary to avoid an exception being thrown from customizable UI is widget removable, which expects all direct descendants of toolbars to either have an ID, be one of a special set of node types, or have skip in toolbar set equals true set on it. Okay. So now this is going to conflict a little bit with this other patch that I landed recently that gets rid of I think it landed in central, or landed in inbound earlier today, but it got rid of this title bar item class. Let's see here. Yeah, I got rid of the title bar item class. So I think we have to make sure that this patch is based on top of this so that it merges cleanly, because it's in Autoland, but it's not on Central yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a link to this revision and pull it down. It's going to be a little painful because this VM is so slow. But I'm going to say it's also getting really warm in here. My plan is pull down that patch on top of Central, so graft it onto Central, and then avoid accidentally overriding rules that collapse toolbars. Right, that's for the other thing that we just requested review from. So I'm going to update to Central. Then I'm going to import that patch over here that hasn't landed on Autoland yet, and I'm going to rebase this patch on top of it, and then I'm just going to submit this change to try. And that will mean that it's prepared to land on top of this patch once it does land in Central, which should be soon because this merged to Autoland just this morning. So hopefully it'll close out soon. In hockey parlance, that's called skating where the puck will be, not where the puck is. Got to skate to where the puck is going to be. That's a Wayne Gretzkyism. Any Canadian worth their salt apparently knows that saying from Wayne Gretzky. I don't know if that's true. I don't know anything about hockey really. All right, so let's pull in this patch. I don't know much about hockey, but I enjoy watching it. Some people say it's a little too fast for them, or maybe they can't see the puck. I think that just means that you need a larger television or like faster frame rate on your television, because part of the speed. And then it opens up Sublime again. Part of the thrill for me is the speed. I gotta say editor equals Vim. I should just put that in my bash RC. In fact, I think I did put that in my bash RC. I just haven't restarted this client yet, or restarted my bash shell yet. So it's a thing that I keep meaning to do. Keeps burning me. In fact, what happens if I just open up a new terminal right now? I'll go echo editor Vim. Okay, so I'm going to use this editor from here on out and save myself some time and heartache. Uncommitted changes. What uncommitted changes? You lie. In which case I will do HG update C to clean the working state, because maybe it is worried that I'm in the middle of an unclean import is probably what occurred. Man, this is taking forever. Yeah, unclean import. That's what happened. Well, you know what? It's actually okay, because I can just commit this and say like fix that removes title bar item. And I don't actually need to do much else. And then I'm going to switch my terminals so that I'm using one that has Vim set as my editor by default. So this one's going to go away. Goodbye, Sublime Text as my editor. It was surreal.
Okie dokie.
Exit. Yeah, let's get out of here. Let's bail out. Okay, so now over here, if I look inside the commit log, we graph it all out. Now I want to graft or rebase this on top of tip, so that's what I will do next. Whoops, can't really see what I'm writing there. That on top of tip. And then I'm going to clean up the event, almost inevitable conflict resolution, because I modified a line that had the title bar item on it. Let's see if it is smart enough to resolve that on its own. But my guess is that Mercurial was going to freak out. Freak out! We're still going to have to use this Windows machine, I think, in order to reproduce this issue with the full screen. But one of the things that we might be able to do is attempt to use Moz regression to see if I accidentally introduce this behavior with my patch. Because if I didn't, this might be a long-standing issue, and that's like still unfortunate. We should still fix it, but it changes, I think, the priority. If this is a thing that's been broken for a long time, it means that people have lived with it for now. We should still fix it, but it means that it removes some of the blame from me. What are other sounds I can play while I'm waiting?
That's right.
All right, so we got our conflicts. So in this one file right here, yeah, it is complaining. So interestingly, it was able to sort out the other one, but not this one. So now I will resolve mark browser base content title bar items. Continue the rebase. And then here's the issue. I don't actually have it set up, this VM set up to submit patches to Fabricator yet. So that's a pain. So what I'll do is I will push this to try, and then I will pull it down from this, my host machine, and push to review from my host machine. It's a little convoluted, but should work. So let's put together some try syntax for running the Moki test browser tests on an artifact build. Let's do both debug. No, let's just do opt. 64. I can't see debug having an impact here. And we're just going to run the Moki test browser tests. That includes things like the customizable UI tests that exercise the toolbars, because that's probably the most direct thing that we changed. Come on, rebase. Where are you going, rebase? I'm gonna close that. Don't need that anymore. Can close a couple of these as well. And all right, let's think a little bit more about this full screen thing. What can I do to investigate this? So my plan is use Moz regression to see whether or not I can reproduce this using using an older revision from before, like basically to see whether or not I introduced this issue. Because if I did, well, that's bad. That's not great. So what I can do to sort of make that easier is find the build that didn't have my patch in it. And my patch landed in Central on, let's see here, 15 days ago, so on November the 6th. So the 5th, on the 5th, if I get the nightly from the 5th, then, all right, let's push this to try. And actually, while it's doing that, I can use a different terminal to start the Moz regression, because Moz regression is not going to impact my repository. So I can go here, mock Moz regression launch November 5th. So it's going to go and find the nightly for November 5th and download it. Now, one of the things that isn't great about Moz regression is that one of the first things it does is it sometimes goes to check that it's up to date. Like that's what it's doing right now. I think it's actually updating itself, and that means that after it's updated itself, I have to re-enter that above command. It doesn't just like keep doing what I asked it to do. It's also really taking its time to update. My poor VM. My poor VM. I probably need to like give it more CPU and RAM. All of the above. But this is the only way I can like do Windows development in front of you right now until I get a Windows machine. Preview for 2019. I might be switching my primary operating system to Windows or to Linux. I'm not sure yet. But I think I'm going to be getting off of the Apple hardware soon. Which is sad because I do like most Apple hardware. I've heard so many bad stories about the touch bar. I've seen so many problems with the touch bar from colleagues and the keyboard. It just doesn't sound like it's worth it. Also, Mojave is apparently a real not great, and I don't want to have to upgrade to Mojave. So I'll take I'll dual boot Windows 10. I'll use the Windows Linux subsystem, and maybe I'll dual boot to Ubuntu or something. Okay, so we're getting November 5th's build, nightly build, and our push to try is going in the background. I can see that almost finished. And so here, let's go get that build. November 5th. So just to recap, if I can reproduce the issue here, the pressure really comes off. Because that means that I didn't actually introduce the problem myself and that this has been a long-standing issue. If, however, we cannot reproduce the issue with November 5th build, and I can with the November 6th build, then chances are I did introduce the regression. And in either case, we should fix this bug, but it changes the priority somewhat. Like it changes how much I worry about it. All right. So that push went out. We can now pull that down and put it up for review actually while we're waiting. So let's pull my latest try pushes. If I were to look at activity monitor, who's freaking out? OBS is the one that's freaking out. OBS and my VMware really are hosing my machine right now. It's just like wrecking me. Just absolutely wrecking my machine. Okay. What the? Did I push the wrong thing? Did I not update to tip? Oh man, did I not update to tip? I think I pushed the wrong thing. Because I think I only pushed the thing that removes the title bar item and not the other thing. So I'm going to get ready to cancel this push. What a waste of time. Okay, here's the November 5th build. Yeah, I didn't push the tip. Or I didn't update to tip. So I'm going to update to tip. I'm going to cancel this this job over here so that we don't have to waste compute cycles on it. Meanwhile, I can try and reproduce the issue here. So what am I going to do? I've got this profile, or I've got this test instance. Don't worry about that sound. It's okay. Not now. Please don't update. What am I going to do? I'm going to enter full screen mode. And do that with function F11. Whoops. How do I send? Here's what I can do. I can go like full screen and then keep the URL bar focused. And now I'm going to enter customize mode. And now I'm going to restore the window. Good. I reproduced the issue. So, it's a little bit better here because I still have the window controls, but I do not have the, I still don't have the actual browser UI. So this has been a long-standing issue, it sounds like. So first of all, let me cancel this job. That's this X button here, actually. So we'll cancel that job, yeah. Instead, now that we've pushed to tip, or as soon as we push to tip. So while I wait for my machine to catch up, I'm going to mention in this bug that the regression was not caused by me. So let's open that up in a tab. Come on, computer. Maybe I should find something I could do on my host machine so I could shut down my VM and reclaim some CPU. That might be nice. Okay. So using Moz regression, it looks like this problem existed before the tabs and title bar work. So this isn't a very recent regression as far as I can tell. Still a pretty nasty bug. Okay. Let's see. This is still updating to tip. Good. Now we're going to push that to try. And then we can maybe shut down this VM and reclaim some cycles. So I know this has felt a little bit slow, but we've actually accomplished quite a bit. We have put the patches up for this and for this. And we're about to put up a patch or we're about to more or less figure. I think we'll find a solution to this, and if we can do those three things today, I'll feel pretty good about that. They're not huge bugs, but they are bugs, and I'll feel pretty good if we can get those addressed. I think I would like to try addressing this, like reproducing and addressing this issue with the customize mode thing in the Ubuntu VM, though. I have a feeling that's going to be a lot more, a lot easier to work with, a lot more a lot quicker. All right, maybe I can actually get that going right now, because what I'll use, I won't use a local VM, I'll use beast mode and a VNC server. So I'm going to get into beast mode right now, log into beast mode. Beast mode's my Linux box, my Linux desktop box. And let's see where I am at. Quit this. Why so slow? Man, what was the last thing that I had here? This is November 9th. Well, what I'll do is I'll pull central update to the tip of it. And then I will do an artifact build. That should be pretty quick and should be sufficient to find a solution to this issue. Okay, so we have push to try. I am now shutting down this VM. Good riddance. Okay, and now going to build with Fennec artifact. Oh, not Fennec artifact. Oh no, I want build with artifact build. Go, 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 go. All right, clobber, build. Already I can feel the weight coming off. Already my computer is probably just suddenly aghast with how much it can do now, because its CPU has been freed up. So yeah, now that we've done that, then what I want to do is open up another terminal and get this patch that we push to try, also push to review. Yeah, this thing. So let's see here. I need to sign out Mozilla Central, or get in Mozilla Central. I'm gonna pump up the font a little so you can see it. My artifact build is done. That finished in 53 seconds. That's awesome. I want this revision. Actually, just pull that revision. Pull try that. Meanwhile, over here, now that we've done building this, do I have VNC server running? No. So I'll run VNC server. And I'm gonna open up VNC viewer and making sure we can go. And now I'm going to say display 1. Let's run. Okay, let's reproduce the issue. What is that? Wow, I didn't know we had that ability. Or I guess that's like that's for this particular flavor of Linux. All right, so I'm gonna do, I've got the URL bar focused, and I'm gonna say full screen, and then I'm gonna say customize, and then I'm gonna say done, and then that, and now it came back a little bit there. It's coming back, but that's only because I think I've got the title bar displayed. And on this version of Linux, I don't think you can actually hide the title bar, or on this flavor of the desktop. Okay, so what I want to do, I think, is make it so that anytime the window is resized, the size mode changes. I want to make sure that we remove those attributes, those full screen attributes. Size mode. So I think there's a, is there like a size mode changed? Size mode changed. Yeah, size mode change. So if we see a size mode change, then we should exit full screen mode. That's what I'm thinking. Go away, VMware. All right, so how will we do that? So I'm gonna open up full browser, full screen, and this is all the pointer lock stuff. Don't care, don't care, don't care. Here, I want full screen. Yeah. Called when we go into full screen, even if initiated by a web page script. Will enter full screen. Will exit full screen. Full screen. Toggle. Enter FS is window.fullscreen. So what I'm thinking is window.add event listener, size mode change this, handle event, oh man, I gotta set up Vim correctly. Size mode change, get my tabs working properly. What is size mode change called with? Size mode change event. OBS. Why so busy? Windows state. State. is there a way that we can know if we are in full screen? Is there like a internal state full screen in it? Internal full screen. Is pop-up open? Not really. This. Okay. So what I'll do is say if we'll exit, we'll toggle. What's will toggle? Will toggle. If window.window state is not equal to full screen, then we're going to say this dot toggle false. Break. I need to fix this Vim. All right. Oh, you know what? I need to rebuild. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll enter full screen. I'm gonna customize. Done. All right, I think we fixed it. Oh, nope, I definitely did not. I definitely did not. That's interesting. So hold on a second. Let's open up the not customize mode. I need the toolbox. Window.window state. Oh. 3. Window state. There's like these different numbers. Window. Full screen. Maybe what I should do then instead is, no, I didn't mean to open you VMware. Window.fullscreen. Bailing out of full screen. Bailing out of full screen. So hit there. Now if I take the focus away, that goes away again. Now why is it going away? That's my question. Because we bailed out of full screen. So maybe there's something on the main menu that says we're in full screen. Like why the toolbar hidden? Where's the main toolbar? Application toolbox. Why is margin top? Why is it set that? If I do, it comes back. Why margin top set like that? There's something here that's the margin top. Inside hide nav box. Hide nav box. inside toggle. So I think I kind of want to know what's going on inside this toggle function. So I'm going to shut down. I'm going to redo this. I'm going to rerun, but I'm going to attach a breakpoint inside that toggle function just before I reproduce the issue. Scoop-a-doo. Okay. Let's go to the debugger. Let's find browser, full screen, and pointer lock. Find the toggle. Here we go. So I'm actually going to disable that breakpoint for now, though, and get close to where. There we go. Then I enter customize mode. Or hang on, how do I need to do this? I need to like enter customize mode and say done. No, it wasn't quite like that. It was like here, but with the URL bar focus. Then I enter customize mode, go here, and then do I like do that? No. No, I screwed it up. So it's here, enter customize mode, take the focus off, exit customize mode, then do that. Now if I take the focus off, that's what it was. Okay. And I hadn't enabled my breakpoint, so I have to do that all over again. Great. Now that I understand again the rules of the rules of reproduction. Oh, the rules of reproducing the issue. Okay, so that's focused. Do that. Customize mode. Wait for that to go away. Actually, what I should do is set a breakpoint here. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to exit customize mode and then. Okay. So now let's step into this toggle. Are we entering FS? Nope. Good. So we're not entering FS. So we're removing all the styles for full screen. This is good. We're not entering FS, so show nav toolbox false. So full screen toggler hidden equals true. Remove the attribute. Set the margin top to nothing. So that looked like a and then it goes away. Why? Why? Why would it have gone away? Track show nav toolbox. Track mouse. Whenever we were toggling, we said show nav toolbox false. Such a small debugger. So we say false. So the full screen toggler is hidden as true. And remove the attribute, should animate, or remove the margin top. So I'm going to reproduce that again. I want to run that same series of steps, but I want to see where the event's coming from, the request is coming from to hide the toolbox again after we're done. Nope. Not that. I want to break free. I want to break free. Where is that line? Full screen. Here we go. Toggle. Where's the hint? Here it is. Here it is. This is where I wanted. Like, why is the formatting here completely busted? I have a feeling my Vim is just in rough shape. And then I want to find the show nav toolbox and hide nav toolbox. Okay, here we go. But I'm only gonna I'm gonna disable these two until we get close to the situation, the actual bug step. Customize mode. Switch focus. All right. Now I'm going to re-enable these breakpoints. I'm going to say restore. Okay, so now we're entering here. We're doing the right things. We think we're exiting full screen mode. Remove the attributes. All right, and we're going to say, okay, get rid of that business. Great. And then show nav toolbox comes from toggle show nav toolbox false. I got called again? Oh, from the full screen event. Full screen event. So I've been told show nav toolbox false again. That's fine. Then hide nav, this is the interesting one. Retry hide nav toolbox. Aha! Wait for at least a frame to give a chance to be passed down to the content. Whoa. Request animation frame. Try. Don't collapse Chrome. As we make it lose focus. We cannot listen on blur on focus here because that event can trigger by almost down hang is coming. Should split. Retry. Huh. All right. So here we set up this little trap. And I think that's what we need to get rid of here. Retry. If window.fullscreen all right, this is a bit of a hodgepodge solution here. And I'm not entirely certain it's the right one, but let's see. Full screen. Customize mode. All right, done. Exit full screen. Hooray! Hooray! Hooray, okay. This appears to be working. Kind of. Let's ask, do we need to have the talk about the birds and the bees issue? I think he's talking about, I think there was some kind of reproduction joke that I kind of glossed over intentionally. and Les is full on calling that out. Maybe for one of the upcoming Joy of Coding episodes, maybe we'll just do the talk. We'll see. All right. Well, I hope that was interesting. That was a bit of a cluster. I thought it would be quicker than it was, but hey, my Windows 7 VM is a pain. But maybe my new version of VMware Fusion will make things faster in the future. I don't know. No problem, Les. I appreciate. I'm glad someone's out there paying attention to my silly jokes. All right, so I'm going to cap it here. Thank you so much for watching episode 158 of The Joy of Coding. I hope that was interesting. My name is Mike Conley. I will hopefully see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
The joy of coding.
See ya.